Continuing on in our fall essential series, today we're talking about puffer jackets. What is up everybody, hope you're doing well. As I said in the intro, in today's video we are talking about puffer jackets or down jackets or whatever you want to call them. They're basically a continuation of the fall essentials format, right, that I started. There's one more episode coming. So today we're talking about winter coats. So it's, I guess, like a hybrid, obviously fall essential, but definitely a winter essential as well. To be honest, I've always had difficulties finding good winter jackets. So I think like depends on what your style is, I guess, but especially when you're like in the avant-garde scene or niche or whatever, it's really difficult to find good avant-garde puffer jackets in my opinion. I've seen one from Julius which is quite awesome. It was like a leather puffer jacket. That was one example that I thought was really good. And then Rig Owns obviously does quite amazing puffer jackets as well. I've had a down vest from Rig once, but never a down jacket. Let me know that in the comments if you have experiences with the down jacket. I mean, they're quite expensive for what they are in my opinion. Obviously the collaboration with Moncler is pretty awesome in my opinion. But yeah, kind of out of my budget. I don't really care too much about winter jackets. But it's still obviously when it's cold outside and you wear it, it's probably the most dominant piece in your outfit, right? So it has to have some weight, I guess. But yeah, always had difficulties. So what I usually go for is function, right? I want it to be warm. So I tried finding the warmest winter jacket that I could find, and I think I have succeeded. So this is going to be super interesting. But today I'm showing you 3 jackets that I currently own. Yeah, I mean, I have one that I've showed before, right? That is rather like lightweight and not for like the ultra cold temperatures, but it's still pretty warm, solid. And then I have like the extreme, the warmest of the warmest, I think. And yes, so I'd say let's jump right in. So if you are familiar with the channel, you've probably seen my video on the Enthält Werbung diamond stitch down jacket. This is one of my favorite jackets. I love the color. It's just beautiful forest green, I guess. And it weighs like 300 grams, so ultra lightweight. It can even be worn like as a mid layer or like layer number 4. Pretty versatile piece, and I rock this these days a lot because it's so lightweight. It feels like just wearing a jumper or whatever, or a hoodie, but it's super warm. So that's definitely my first piece for this fall, for this winter. And this is probably the most fall appropriate of all the ones, right? The other one is a bit too hot these days, even though I still wear it, but I'll come to that later. But yeah, this is my go-to jacket. I can highly recommend, if you ever have the chance like to try on stuff from Enthält Werbung, I would highly encourage you to do so, because their stuff is like, it's one of those things where you have to touch it to know it's real, you know what I mean? And yeah, the quality is insane, and fabric feels kind of delicate, right? Because it's so thin. And also like, I've been wearing this for like, I don't know, the past month maybe. And I can tell you that like it loses some feathers, like not tremendously much, but some. And yeah, I always hate that. And I found that no matter like the price tag, the feathers are still coming out. So I would be really interested in hearing your opinion. Like, is there any way to prevent that, or are there like certain quality standards or I don't know, materials that you have to look for? Because I really have no idea why this is happening, and no matter the price range, right? This is an 800 bucks jacket and it loses feathers, right? So yeah, but yeah, this is definitely my go-to piece for the fall. So this is it worn, right? It feels more like a hoodie rather than a proper jacket. If you haven't seen the video on this jacket, I'll put a link below the like button so you can check it out. But yeah, pretty much perfect fall jacket in my opinion. Ultra lightweight, super warm, but not too bulky or not too warm for like a jacket that you need in like proper winter. I wish it had an inside pocket though, right? These huge kangaroo pockets obviously help, but doesn't have an inside pocket, which would really be handy. Just one like to put your phone in or whatever. So next up is a jacket. If you are really familiar with this channel and you've been watching my videos like the last year, right? This is a jacket that I bought last year. I was rocking last winter, which is the Stone Island resin down ice jacket, iced tea shell jacket. Pretty amazing amazing piece, right? Changes the color with heat. Right, I'll link that video down below if you're like interested in the in-depth review. This is also an ultra warm piece. Unfortunately, I'm selling this one, and probably like when the video airs, it's probably already sold. But yeah, I have to sell it because it's a size large and it's a tad too small for me. And in the beginning I thought I'll make it work somehow, but yeah, it's a bit too small, and for that it's too expensive. That's reason number one. Reason number two is the pockets on the inside, right, where you put your hands in, is basically the same material as here, and that's not the best material for a pocket lining in my opinion. Like in a winter jacket, I want the pockets to be sort of like a warm, like a fleece or something, right? And this is a rather like cold material. So when it's super cold outside, you put your hands in and it's cold and it's not comfortable. Yeah, kind of a detail, but super important detail for me. So those are the two reasons why I'm letting this one go, unfortunately. Beautiful white badge. And yeah, such an amazing piece. Right, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but it's basically, you can zip it up basically, and then you can remove the shell, and then there's like a yellow jacket underneath, and then you have like a translucent rain jacket, I guess. The only thing that happened, so I stored this pretty securely in my closet, and over the summer, as you can see that here on the hood, I don't know, the material started melting. Apparently that's like a common thing with this material, but man, I was super pissed when I saw this. So yeah. One of my favorite jackets of all time. I'm not sure honestly if an extra large would be too big, because it's a tad too small, and I hate it when a winter jacket looks like way too big. But yeah, I don't know, maybe one day I'll try on an extra large and hopefully it fits, because this is, I love the vibes that it has, like this, I don't know, street worker, outdoor vibes. Beautiful piece. So as you can see, it's a bit tight on me and also short, right? This is not even like thick that I have underneath, but yeah, it feels a bit like too restricted. So, but the material is just so amazing. I love the vibes, the emotion, but it also like sounds a bit like a plastic bag or a paper bag. So now we're coming to the big beast, right? This is probably the warmest jacket that I've ever owned. I don't even know what the name is actually, but this is the North Face Summit Series down parka, Himalayan down parka, I think. So basically, this is the warmest jacket that North Face makes. And this is not the current one. The current one is a bit more like clean. Also a pretty cool jacket, but I prefer this one because it looks more technical with all the details and like the waterproof zips, and it has like hooks and stuff. Design-wise, I absolutely prefer this one. And the features, you can tell like this is a pro jacket. And actually, I love looking at like mountain documentaries and like people that climb Everest and stuff. When you watch those documentaries, you actually see people wearing this on Everest, right? So now you know it's warm. It's like minus 40 degrees Celsius up there. So if they're warm, I'm sure I'll be warm. The interesting thing about this, so this is I think from 2018, the jacket, and I wanted to buy it. I went to the North Face store, it was $1,000, and I was like, wow, man, it's just too much, because it's not like a beautiful fashion item in my opinion. It's just a functional, brutal jacket. So $1,000 was a bit too much. So I did something what I wanted to do for years, and this is the first time I pulled it off, is buy a winter jacket in summer, right? Because obviously you can save a lot of cash. Obviously you don't have the same selection that you have in winter, right? But you can make amazing deals. And I bought this used, right? It was a guy who here in Germany who wore it like 5 times. It looked like new, and I paid like $330, which was an awesome deal, and it was like in July or something. So obviously like nobody would be interested in that. And he was asking for like $550 or something, and then I like negotiated it down. I'm really proud of that, because that's like for the past 10 years I always say I want to buy a winter jacket in summer, right? But I don't know, somehow I always forget. And then also you're not in the mood, right? When it's like 30 degrees outside, you're not in the mood to buy a winter jacket. But yeah, this time I pulled it off, super happy with it. And honestly, I wear this also, even though it's still like fall, right? So it's pretty cold, but it's not like hardcore cold like it's gonna get in like December or January. But what I do is like I wear a t-shirt or just a long sleeve and then the jacket on top. And that's what I love. Like then you go somewhere inside and you take off the jacket and then you're comfortable. What I never like is when you have like a semi-warm outerwear jacket and then you have to put on like a heavy fleece. And then once you walk into a restaurant or like somewhere inside, you're still wearing the fleece and you're sweating like crazy. Yeah, so that doesn't really make sense to me, or it has been annoying in the past. So this is my new strategy, right? To always wear a t-shirt or just a long sleeve or something like that is like mid-weight, I guess, like a cardigan or something. And then you have a heavy jacket, even though it's not super cold. But it's still like, I don't know, 7 degrees, something like that outside. And also when I'm sitting on the balcony or whatever, then yeah, this is the way to go. Has an ultra thick hood as well. And yeah, that's my big beast for this year. So this jacket is definitely the star of the show for me. So let me show you some of the features. Obviously it's ultra thick, right? You can probably tell it's obviously bulky and it looks functional, maybe too functional for some, and I respect it, I agree even. But in this case, I go comfort over fashion. So one of the good things is, first of all, there's fleece on the pockets, right? So your hands are instantly warm when you come in. Also because the amount of down that is on the outside, like outside of the pocket basically, is super thick. So it's always super warm in there. Like the minute you put it in, it's warm. So that's super helpful. Then when you go in hardcore, you have thumb holes here as well, which I don't use, but I think like when I go in the mountains with this, I would use it. And yeah, like many different like Velcros and stuff, like options to adjust. Then every zip is a waterproof zip. I think this zip here, which is also a waterproof zip, is a bit too small. I think like they should have chosen a bigger size, but yeah, I mean it works. And then you have 2 chest pockets here, same waterproof zip with deep pockets where you can put stuff in. And then like adjust like clasps and stuff, and even like let me show you let me show you the hood. It's kind of insane as well. So it's an ultra thick hood, like there's so much down in the hood, so you're not getting cold with this one. And also a small detail which I really like though is this small carabiner here. And what I use this for is, you might have guessed it, I put my Skinosh credit card holder here, so I have it always available. But when you look at like pics from Everest, like what all the mountaineers have is a GPS device, right? This is the Garmin InReach. So it's basically a GPS device when you go in the mountains and you don't have any cell coverage, then you can always be tracked with this one. And it has, I'm not sure if you can see it, an SOS button there. And what happens then is the mountain rescue guards are notified with your exact location, and then they send like a helicopter. So that's what that is. Pretty useful accessory. So I rarely use this, but one time I was in the mountains with my wife, and it was the Swiss Alps, and I didn't bring this, I forgot this at home. And then we had a pretty rough situation there, and I think I would have pushed this button if I had it, but unfortunately I didn't. We're still alive, so it's all good. But yeah, definitely a valuable tool, and that's what this hook here is used for. And yeah, other than that, functionality really is on the forefront here. You have like a mesh pocket here for your phone, and then you have another zipped inside pocket here, which is pretty big. The same story here on this side. So many pockets, ultra thick as you can see. And the outer shell, by the way, I forgot to mention that, is Gore windstopper material. And then maybe to add one more item, which is not a puffer jacket, but quite an essential jacket for fall as well. Right, this is a Gore-Tex rain jacket. So this is the Stone Island Gore-Tex jacket. I did a review on as well, but this is quite of a go-to piece for me as well when it's like, it's raining like crazy these days. So I just like wear whatever I wear, like a fleece, and throw this over, no problems at all. So definitely a fall essential for me as well. But yeah, that was this week's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on winter jackets, especially like the avant-garde people. Like what do you recommend? Back in the days, like when I was like super deep into avant-garde, I had like a polycarbon coat, which didn't really, the wool coat, the priest coat, which didn't really protect me from the cold or the wind at least. Cold, it was pretty warm, but yeah, the wind was blowing in and stuff. And then I had a Greg Lauren jacket, which was pretty heavy, but didn't have any functionality. So yeah, I'm kind of struggling in the avant-garde area when it comes to winter jackets. I think like the techwear folks out there, like they have a solid array of choices, I think. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, and I'm looking forward to having a discussion with you. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.